Abby here with Scrap and Abby, and I'm doing my neurosurgeon appointment follow-up video for you ladies. Sorry it was a day later than I had planned. Of course, I got home from my appointment on Tuesday, and I was pretty exhausted and wiped out and all that, so I didn't feel like filming, and yesterday I spent all day in bed as well. So I had another appointment today with establishing care with a new doctor here in DeLand, like a primary family doctor type of appointment. So that went really well. I like that doctor. She was very, understanding of all the different things, and I go to her just to establish care so I can continue to get my blood pressure pills. So that's what that appointment was. So I thought while I was still dressed and looking semi-decent, halfway presentable, I thought I'd go ahead and do an update video. So thanks so much for, again, all of your wonderful, wonderful comments and supportive messages and prayers, everything. I'm beyond grateful, so thank you all so very much. So what I have is I just have my Foxy Fix Traveler's Notebook, the one that I shared with you in my last video, and I took this with me to my appointment, and I took down some notes and stuff, and then when we got back I sat down at the table and wrote everything out in a little bit more detail. So this has, so the day starts here, and then this kind of goes down here, all the appointment notes, and then what I did is I summarized at the end. It was like just some little bullet points. I'm not trying to show this up close because it's, I mean, it's kind of personal, but not, whatever. Anyway, so I put, kind of finish it up there. So I'm going to be looking down at this just so I don't forget anything, just to explain why I might be going like this. So we got to the appointment, and we were in the exam room for probably a good 50 minutes, almost an hour, and then the nurse came in and went over my initial history and everything from the paperwork that I'd filled out, and then Dr. Field came in after that. And so he had talked to me after meeting me and kind of going over the paperwork from OHSU and kind of what the nurse had gotten from me as well. He talked to me a little bit more detail, and he said that unfortunately that there isn't anything that they can do. He can do surgery wise, which I already knew, but he just was telling me that again, because once you have a failed brain surgery, which is what I had done, and the name of the surgery is called an MVD, which stands for microvascular decompression. So my doctor put on the op note MVD/neurolysis, which means combing or fraying of the trigeminal nerve. He was going to do that if he didn't find a compression, and he didn't find a compression. So I will put a card and then link in that video in my description, so you can watch that entire update on your own if you'd like. I just wanted to mention that little caveat there, just in case, or a little bit right there, for anybody who's not familiar with what I had done. And so there isn't anything else they can do because the nerve is already damaged. So trying to do another surgery, which we already knew wasn't on the table anyway, he said that would be out. The new neurologist I saw here, she was kind of pushing toward the Gamma knife, and I will put that across the screen, and you guys can kind of look. I'll put a link in the description to a pretty good website that explains it in layman terms. And so basically it's one of the different radio surgeries that they can do. It's not an actual cutting of your skin or anything. It's where a high dose of radiation hits your face, and it just damages the nerve until you don't have pain anymore. Well, since the medication was a fail, the brain surgery was a fail, the combing fraying of the nerve was a fail, attacking my face with not more, but initial radiation on my face, he said that's not going to benefit me. He said it can make my trigeminal pain worse, and it will absolutely make my anesthesia dolorosa pain worse. So I'm going to refer to those two diagnoses as TN and AD, just so I don't have to feel like I'm saying a mouthful every couple minutes. So he had said that he also does exactly what my neurosurgeon in Oregon did, Dr. Burchell, and Dr. Field actually worked underneath Dr. Janetta, who's the one who came up and invented the procedure for trigeminal neuralgia patients, the MVD. And he also wrote the book, co-authored with my neurosurgeon back in Oregon. It's called Striking Back. And you can watch that video. I'm going to link below because I talk about that book in that video. So, the two neurosurgeons I'm seeing, one here, one back at home, they're like the best of the best. They're the ones that everybody goes to when you're on the West Coast, and then for here, he's the one everybody sees on the the East Coast. And then there's some fantastic places in the Mid Coast as well, or Midwest, I mean. So, he had said doing any of those other kind of procedures would just damage the nerve even more. And he said that He wouldn't be comfortable doing that, and he knew right off the bat that I didn't want to do anything further. I actually told him, you know, I was really hesitant to even come to the appointment because I was afraid that I was going to get pushed into doing the gamma knife, because my new neurologist seemed to be like, oh, you really need to rethink this. And even though I knew it wasn't going to be a positive thing, so you know, I told him I didn't want to do anything, because when you have such horrific pain, you want to do anything to get out of the pain. I mean, I went so far as to have them cut open my head. I mean, I have a piece of my skull about this big missing from the surgery, and but it was a risk I took so I could get out of the trigeminal pain. That didn't happen. It came back worse, and plus I got the second one on top of it. So you do anything you can to try to get out of the pain within reason, of course, but on the same coin, you don't want to just do anything because you're so afraid of making your pain worse than what it already is. I cannot imagine having my pain worse than what it already is. I'm being serious. I really cannot. I don't think that I would be able to craft anymore. I probably would. I could come sit in here, but I wouldn't be able to tolerate and do anything. And part of my mess behind me, I thought I'd give you guys a different view. Something to look at, I guess, besides my face. And then my little tripod is up on my cabinet right behind me. So anyway, so I'm just really afraid to do that because I don't want it to be even more debilitating than what it is. And he said the percentage of it, even a slight possibility of it improving, he said it's not worth the risk. And I completely agree. So did my husband Steve. He was there as well, of course. So anything operative or any type of radiosurgery is off the table. So he said what he's going to do, because I haven't had an MRI or a CT scan since before my surgery. They did one CT scan post-surgery. It's protocol just to make sure there wasn't nothing left in there, that kind of thing. So I had that done 24 hours after I had my initial brain surgery. But I haven't had any follow-up MRIs or anything. So what he said he would be looking for, pardon me while I look at my notes here, he said that he wants to do the a 3D MRI, and they have a technician, so I'm really lucky for this, they have a technician in Orlando area who specializes in doing a trigeminal imaging. And so what that does is that it focuses and zones in completely on the trigeminal nerve to see if I have any compression, if there's any kind of a growth or something's being whatever, just to kind of see what's going on, because it has been over a year since I had my last one. And then he's also doing a CT of the, what do you call it? I'm sorry guys, CT scan, he said, of like my cervical neck, because he said he wants to make sure that there's not something else like an additional pinched nerve or something going on top of the trigeminal and the AD pain that I have. Without a doubt I have those two diagnoses. He's not looking for a different, like a misdiagnosis. You can have different diseases layered on top of the other, and I know a lot of you know exactly what I'm talking about because you also suffer with you know, either terminal illnesses, which I'm so sorry for that, and I feel horrible even complaining about my pain when I know there are terminal people out there, and so I'm really sorry. And then for other people who have chronic illnesses like me, where you have one, then you get another, and the medication causes another, that kind of an effect. So he said that he wanted to check to make sure. I'm trying to look and see here. He asked me if I knew what Eagle syndrome was, and I'd heard about it a little bit in my initial research to try to find out what I had before I was officially diagnosed. So I don't know enough about that to talk about it in the video, but I will leave a link to that so you guys can look it up if you want to. And then he talked about geniculate neuralgia, which I'm pretty familiar with because that is where you have pain in the ear, deep in the ear, which is why they sent me to the ear, nose, and throat doctor initially. So he said that they're also going to be looking to see, I don't have the name of the bone, I forgot it, but he said there's like a bone that's inside your skull, obviously. He says sometimes that bone can have a growth, or it can be longer than it's supposed to be, and sometimes that can be pressing on one of the nerves, and that could possibly cause the pain, because he said that because I have all the classic symptoms of TN and then the AD pain, because I've, from day one, since August 26, 2014, I've had deep shooting, burning pain in my ear. I mean, it literally feels like you should be seeing a poker sticking out of my ear that is red hot with somebody just going that's like pushing it like they're stoking the fire or something, but it's in my ear and it hurts super bad. So on top of the other pain I have, so he wants to look for that in those imagings to see if there's any type of issue with that. And if there is, he said there is something that he can do to treat that. you know, or a medication or something like that, he said, but, you know, wouldn't take the pain away. But he wants to make sure there's nothing new going on, or there's not any, you know, issues with inside my head. So I'm really, really appreciative that he's being so extremely thorough. And he had told me that if anything was to come back from the imaging showing that I have something wrong, new, he said that unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, no type of surgery, treatment, or radio surgery type of process could happen. He said that he would just work really closely with my neurologist because she's in the town I actually live in, and it's easier for my husband, you know, not to have to travel, get off work and go drive 40 minutes one way type of thing for appointments all the time. So he's going to work with her on trying to manage my pain. So they're going to kind of mix up my medications a little bit. They're going to try, they have me trying Lyrica, which I've had before surgery, which did not work. I might as well have been just popping Tic Tacs. It didn't do anything. He said he's not real sure that it's going to do anything now. He said, but it's worth a try. He said, because since you're post-surgery, you have TN pain back, you have the AD now. He said, let's just see if for some reason maybe the Lyrica kind of takes the edge off a little bit. So I'm willing to try it. They're filling the prescription for me, and he said it'll take about 2 weeks for me to even notice anything. So I'll pick up my prescription tomorrow if it's ready, and then I'm going to start it and obviously document it in my traveler's notebook here, because I have a calendar I put in here that I have been doing some art journaling in it, but I have a calendar. This is kind of where I'm keeping track of, like, if I have to take one of my higher pain medications, or if I accidentally took it too late in the day because whatever reason, that kind of thing. So that way I can track it and see if it makes me sick, or if I notice any improvement, that kind of stuff. So I'm so grateful for this, because when it's purple, it makes me so happy. I love purple, you guys. I'm so obsessed. But this is, I just love this format of planning, note journaling, note taking. So that's the kind of the game plan for now. So they're working with my insurance and trying to get the logistics of me getting in for an appointment for those 2 scans, because the MRI is kind of has like a little bit of a wait list, because this guy is so sought out. I don't know if it's a guy or a female, but this technician, I'll say, is really specialized in this, and so they have to get me in a slot where they can do that, and then also do the CT scan, hopefully at the same time. And then I'm just to try the Lyrica and just document how I'm doing, and then I go back to the neurosurgeon's office in, I think, a month, but they want to wait until they have the imaging results first, just to kind of see how I'm doing. And then I have a follow-up appointment with my neurologist. Tongue twisters, I tell you guys. I think it's next week on the 16th, I think, the 15th or the 16th. And that's just to kind of follow up and see how I'm doing. I was supposed to have been in to see the neurosurgeon 2 weeks ago, and that didn't happen because of what I already explained to you in my prior videos. So this appointment with the neurologist was just to follow up from that appointment. So there's not going to be really too much for me to tell her, because I won't be on the medication for not even quite a week yet. So that's kind of where I'm at with everything. And I've just been documenting every night, typically in the evening when I do my gratitude list every night in bed. That's when I kind of document in my notebook of how I did that day, if I got up that day, if I was in bed, you know, when I took my medication, did I feel okay, was I able to tolerate a shower, washing my face. You guys might think this is so gross, but there are some days it kills me to even brush my teeth. The pain is that bad. And so it's just really horrific. Now, I know a lot of people, well, everybody in the different Traveler's Notebook groups and social media, they call it the TN as a short for abbreviation. So it's like, you know, and TN is abbreviation for Trigeminal Neuralgia, of course. So it's kind of like, I love my TN to document my TN. So I thought that the other day. I was like, that's kind of weird. So anyway, I just want to show you. So I'm sorry this is kind of all over the place. I'm a little bit not feeling so hot today. Like I said, I only got up to get dressed to go to my appointment. But now that I am up and I'm dressed, I'm going to film a couple videos and kind of finish up some things that I started filming, like the art journaling I've done in here and a couple of the different projects, so I can actually start using some of the inserts in my notebook, because I'm holding off until I do a proper video to share with you. So I'm going to get those done as soon as I'm done here. And I have gotten some Happy Mail, and I have a couple hauls from Dollar Tree. Actually 2. One I haven't even edited yet. It's from like over a week ago. And then Tuesday morning. And Big Lots. I have like one thing from Big Lots. So I'm going to try to get those done while I'm up and everything, because being in this room just lifts my spirits tremendously. That might sound crazy, but I'm hoping that all of you ladies as crafters will understand. It's just the smell of my craft paper and just the smell of the crafty supplies in my room, you know, just and looking at all of my purple, and it just makes me so happy and brings me so much joy, which is why I typically like to film these kind of videos in this room, because it is my happy place. So, you know, it does lift my spirits emotionally a lot, and so I'm going to work on getting some videos done, because, you know, I want to keep getting new content on my channel, so you ladies aren't, you know, tired of watching the old stuff or waiting for me to get videos up. So thank you again so very much. I'm trying not to make eye contact. I know you guys aren't literally in my room, but I keep looking off to the side. It's a thing I do because you know, like I get nervous, or I don't want to get too emotional, but I so appreciate each and every one of you, and your constant prayers and support, and your friendship of, you know, being and supporting me. I know that you guys have my back, so to speak, and I really appreciate that so very much. So that is kind of the wrap up of this video. I might put stuff at the end if I remember something I forgot to share, because it just happens, unfortunately for me. I just forget things a lot lately. But I will be doing a proper update, TN update, but I'm going to wait until after my imaging's done and after I see the neurosurgeon one more time. That way I can kind of have some more information as to if the Lyrica worked or not, what the imaging showed, if anything, that kind of thing. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's kind of to just continue as I am, try the Lyrica, see if it works, and then in a few weeks, you know, we'll kind of, once the imaging gets back and everything, I'll kind of find out if they want to adjust the medications I'm currently on now, include something different. I don't know. It's just kind of where I'm at right now. But I'm at least happy to know that there's some kind of a plan, at least trying something. It wasn't just a, oh, sorry, can't help you, you know, have a nice day and keep taking your medicine. That wasn't it at all. You know, he's very invested. His whole team is very invested in trying to find something for me, because they just said, you know, it's not okay or acceptable to be in this much pain. You know, not try things that aren't, you know, they're going to possibly help me, or maybe just take the slightest edge off the pain. Even the littlest pain. I don't expect to be pain-free. Obviously, I'm a Christian, and I believe in, you know, miracles, and I know God can do a complete healing, of course. But I don't expect to have a procedure or to take a medication that's going to make me like I was prior to this. There's no cure for this. It's just, you get it, you have it for life. But I'm hoping that there's some kind of medication combo without making me a medicated zombie, and I refuse to go on narcotic medications or opiates or a morphine patch. I'm just not going to do that. I don't want to be like doped up and just not knowing what's going on just to escape the pain. I don't want to do that. I have a life to live. I'm 43. I've got a 16-year-old daughter. I have, you know, a husband. I have a crafting business and all that. I want to be as much of Abby as I can. So they're working with me on trying medications that aren't going to be down that road. So just adjusting those, just to try to see if it gives me some little bit of relief, which is really would be an amazing thing for me. So I will see you ladies soon. So watch for some crafting videos, because I have started some tutorials like a week or 2 weeks ago, and I was kind of in the process letting things dry, that kind of thing. So now I'm at the stage where I can do the completion. And I've started to gather some things for some really fun fall themed crafts and things like that, DIYs for your house, not just like craft bookies type, or, you know, scrapbooking type stuff. So watch for those. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, I know I harp on this all the time, but if you don't follow me on Instagram, it's just Scrap and Abby. That is where I post a lot of sneak peeks, little video clips of things coming up. That way you can kind of have like a preview, because those will sometimes easier for me to do than to sit down and do a full-blown video. So thanks ladies. Happy scrapping, happy crafting, and happy planning. And thank you all again for your prayers. You mean so much to me. I can't even articulate properly to say how much I appreciate all of you. Don't laugh at me. My battery's almost dying on my remote, so I have to hold my arm up to turn it off. I know this is very tacky, but I'm sorry. So I'll see you ladies next time. Thanks so much. Bye.